Alright guys, we're getting back with another deck profile. I know it's been a while and I've been kind of busy. But hey, guess what guys? Locals are sanctioned again, so it's been pretty fun. This deck actually won one of our locals back when it wasn't sanctioned. Sadly, he didn't get to play in a sanctioned tournament yet, but hopefully he'll play it next week.
Maybe.
Okay. This is JW, aka James Green.
So,
he's playing his Armed Dragons, and it is very mean. I don't like it. But I like it, but I don't like it. So he's gonna go through the deck profile, maybe show some combos afterwards, and we'll see how it goes.
Alright guys, so to start off with the 3 of monsters, we've got 3 Armed Dragon Thunder level 3s. The Armed Dragon Thunders were a much needed upgrade for the Armed Dragons. What this one does is you can discard another monster and tribute this to special summon 1 Armed Dragon level 5 from your hand or deck. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a Dragon Monster's effect, you get to draw a card. So it's nice, start of a combo. Next, we got 3 Armed Dragon Thunder level 5s. This one has a similar effect to level 3, to where you can discard a monster and level it up into an Armed Dragon level 7 from your hand or deck. And then if it is discarded to activate a Dragon Monster's effect, you get to add a level 5 or higher Wind Monster, or Wind Dragon, sorry, from deck to hand. So as for the 2 of monsters, we've got 2 Artillery Catapult Turtles. What this card does is you can tribute 1 monster, special summon 1 Gaia the Fierce Knight, or 1 level 5 dragon from your hand or deck, and it is a hard once per turn. It's just a simple normal summon, tribute itself, bring out level 5. Start your combo.
Are the Armed Dragon Thunders all once per turns, or are they hard once per turns?
Both of their effects are hard once per turns, but you can use both effects each turn.
Fair enough.
So, continuing on with the 2 of monsters, we have 2 Kidmodo Dragons.
Of course.
If this card is just sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 dragon from your hand, but you can't conduct your battle phase that turn.
Good first turn starter.
Yeah. It's decent for, just T-formation pass. It is a hard once per turn. It's also a fun little combo with one of the extra deck monsters. Next, we have Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. Similar to level 3 and level 5, you can discard a monster, level this up into an Armed Dragon level 10. And then if it is discard activated Dragon Monster's effect, you can add an Armed Dragon card from deck to hand. So that includes their support, really good. And then lastly, for the 2 of monsters, we have 2 Armed Dragon Thunder level 10s. So it gains effects if it is special summoned by an Armed Dragon monster, based on its attack. If it has 1 or more attack, it's counted as Armed Dragon level 10. 10 or more attack, it cannot switch control, so your opponent can't crack down it or mind control it or anything like that. 100 or more attack, and it can't be destroyed by battle. 1,000 or more attack once per opponent's turn. Quick effect, discard 1 card, pop 1 monster your opponent control, pop 1 other card, and then this card permanently gains 1,000 attack. Doesn't have to be a card your opponent controls, does not have to be a monster. It's pretty versatile. And then if it has 10,000 or more attack, once per turn, destroy everything except this card. It's a nuke. It's really good. It's the boss monster of the deck. As for the one-off monsters, we have 1 OG Armed Dragon level 10. What this does is it cannot be special summoned, cannot be normal summoned or sent, and can only be special summoned from your hand by tributing an Armed Dragon level 7. So what you can do is if you discard an Armed Dragon level 7 on the way, or level 5, you can just add this to hand, and instead of using level 7 to level up, you tribute it, special this. And then once per turn, or no, sorry, it's not even once per turn, you can just discard a card to Raigeki your opponent. It's really good.
Helps with those boards that where whenever they sent the graveyard and stuff, to special them back from deck, special from graveyard. Just keep doing it. Just keep blowing stuff up.
As for next, we have Armed Dragon level 10 white. This one cannot be normal summoned or set either, and it must be special summoned by banishing Armed Dragon monsters from your graveyard equal to 10 levels. It's kind of like a Necro Ritual in a weird sort of way. So what this does is, when it's summoned, you can add a white veil from deck to hand. That is a bit of a risk, though. I personally do not run White Veil because when White Veil is destroyed, you take 3,000 burn. And I'd rather have 3,000 life points.
Especially in today's meta.
Yeah. When it declares an attack, you can pop a card on the field. During the damage step, during the damage step, my bad. And then while it's on the board, you don't take effect damage. So it's pretty handy for those Mystic Mind burn decks, if you can get its effect. Next, we have one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You can special summon this by banishing any dragon on the field, or on your side of the field. Then you can only special summon Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon once that way, or Red MD for short. You can special summon a dragon from your hand or graveyard except Red MD for free once per turn, and then that is a hard once per turn. If the effect seems a little hard once per turny, they did errata it recently, if you didn't know, to plan on taking it off the ban list. So yeah. And lastly, for our one-off monsters, we have Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms, the only one-off Dragon Ruler, and it's so useful in this deck. So this has multiple effects. You can discard this and a dragon, this and a wind monster, add any dragon from deck to hand, so it makes it a Red MD searcher, or your combos. You can banish 2 winds and or dragons, special summon this card from your graveyard or hand. If it is special summoned, it bounces back to your hand during your end phase. During your opponent's next end phase. And if it's banished, you get to add a wind dragon from deck to hand. So it just really helps with consistency, really helps with searching. On to the spells, the 3 ofs. We have Armed Dragon Flash. It is a quick play spell. You can special summon 1 level 3 Armed Dragon monster from your deck in defense, and it is a hard once per turn on the spell. It's really simple. It's basically making it to where you play 6 level 3 Thunders. And to start off your combo, it's really good. That is it for the 3 of spells. Next, we have 2 of spells. 2 Dragon's Mirrors. You get to fusion summon a dragon from your extra deck by banishing materials on your field and in your grave. So it's an FHD summoner basically, but it does have another target, as you'll see later. 2 Super Rejuves. During the end phase of this card's activation, you draw 1 card for every dragon that was tributed and that was discarded. This is really useful, especially for this deck. I have gone... so since this is a quick play spell, fun little fact, you can activate it during the end phase if you draw another copy off the first one. I have drawn 24 off of these Super Rejuves. And still one didn't deck out somehow. It was so much fun. That was back when I was running it at 3, though. Next, we have 2 Claw of Hermos. I'm not going to go into big details. Basically, you activate this, discard a dragon, you get a Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. Some people have thought that it only works with Red Eyes Black Dragon. That's not true. It works with any dragon. That's why Claw of Hermos is so good. All of the Hermos fusions do not require the card it's based off of, just the type. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Next, we have 2 Stamping Destructions. If you control Dragon type, target a spell or trap your opponent controls, pop it, and burn 500. This is easily replaceable with MST or Twin Twisters, anything like that. But it still isn't bad. Plus, 500 damage is 500 damage, and that could make or break the game.
I just want to point out that with the Stamping Destruction, it is actually target any one card. So if you play cards like... if your opponent is playing Nurse Burn or something like that, where they would gain life points taking it, you can also damage yourself just in case, because sometimes you play cards where instead of gaining life, you take it, instead of taking life, you gain it. Talking about Isaac's build.
There's no card that says if you take damage, you gain it instead. Anyway, 1 of spells. We have 1 Pot of Avarice. This deck goes through monsters like women go through clothes. You target 5 monsters in your graveyard, shuffle up 5 in the deck, draw 2. Pretty simple. Next, we have Armed Dragon Blitz. This is a fun card. You target 1 Armed Dragon monster you control. And you take one monster with the same name from your deck or graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon it. If it is ignoring its summoning conditions too, so if you get an Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 out, you can special summon the OG level 10 from your deck. You can only activate one Armed Dragon Blitz per turn, and you cannot you are locked into dragons for the turn. But it is a really good card. Helps with some Xyz plays, and you'll see later. Next, we have One Reasoning. So your opponent guesses a level 1 through 12, and you excavate the top cards from your deck until you excavate a monster that can be special summoned. If they called the level right, the monster is sent to the graveyard. If they did not call the level right, you get a special summon. Which means if you're using this deck against someone who's never gone against this deck before, they have a 1 in 12 chance to mill at least one monster. Any spells or trap activated this way are sent to the graveyard. And then you have an 11 in 12 chance of special summoning a monster. It's really good in any deck that runs a variety of levels, basically. Next, one Monster Reborn. It's Monster Reborn. You target a monster in the graveyard, special summon it. Like I said, this deck goes through monsters like crazy. You can easily get out some big monsters because ignoring level 10 white and OG level 10, all those monsters can be special summoned. One Gold Sark. You banish one card from your deck face up, and then 2 standby phases later, you add it to your hand. The biggest target for this is Tempest, because then it is banished, so you get to add any Wind Dragon from deck to hand. And in 2 turns, you'll get the Tempest. You can discard it in another Wind, add Red MD if you don't already have it. It's really good. If you don't have Tempest, it basically just gets a useless card out of your deck that you don't think you're going to need for a while, or that you might need in just a little bit. Lastly, for the spells, we have one Upstart. You draw one card, your opponent gains 1,000 life. This deck OTKs. This deck can deal tens of thousands of damage going second, third, first turn. So an extra 1,000 life points really isn't going to make or break.
I was actually going home one time, and he did, I think it was like 14,000 damage in one turn, and he didn't go full combo. So, and the deck is actually very, very powerful. It's very OTK-ish, and it is
Dragons are Unga Bunga.
Yes.
Next for the traps, 3 ofs, we have 3 Guard Dragon Cataclysms. You can tribute 1 dragon, target 2 cards on the field, destroy them. You can only activate 1 Guard Dragon Cataclysm per turn. We have looked at rulings because this came up before. The dragon monster can be face down, as long as it is a dragon monster. It's a dragon type Icarus attack, and considering dragons are so heavily supported, this card just made them better. It's a little slow because it's a trap, but it's 100% worth it in my opinion. Next for the traps, the 2 ofs and the last cards in the main deck, 2 Lost Winds. You get to target 1 face-up special summon monster your opponent controls, and have its attack, and negate its effects permanently. Then if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you get to reset it, but banish it when it leaves the field. So it can get around some very problematic monsters, honestly, fairly easily. As long as they can be targeted, it gets around a lot. So next we're going to go into the extra deck. Starting off with Link Monsters. We have no 3 ofs, but as 2 ofs, 2 Heraldic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. It takes 2 dragon monsters once per opponent's turn. This card is in your extra monster's own quick effect. You can tribute 1 monster from your hand or field to bounce 1 monster your opponent controls. If this card is tributed, you get to special summon any dragon from your deck, but its attack and defense becomes 0. This is the combo I was talking about with Kidmodo Dragon. So you get 2 dragons out, get this out. During your opponent's turn, they get a scary monster. Tribute this, bounce their monster, bring out a Kidmodo. It has weak attack and defense anyway. Your opponents will attack into the Kidmodo, and you can bring out like a big monster from your deck, like level 10 Thunder. It's a pretty good combo. All right. Next for extra deck monsters, we have the one-off links. 1 Galaxy Satellite Dragon. Again, 2 dragon monsters, 2,000 attack this time instead of 0. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card. Sorry. You can banish this card from play or graveyard, then target one number Xyz monster you control, whose original attribute and type are Light and Dragon. And then it gains attack equal to the rank times 100. Sorry, I don't use that. You don't use this effect. The only effect that matters is during your opponent's end phase, you get to choose a card from your deck and put it on top. That is the only thing with this. If your opponent is running a slow deck that doesn't have a lot of attack power but has a lot of stall power, like Battle Traps, like Boku or Threatening Roar or something, you basically just get to stack your deck. You get to choose what you draw next and you can get your out. Next is one Win, the Wind Charmer Verdant. It takes 2 monsters, including a Wind monster. It is always treated as a familiar possessed card, but that really doesn't matter. You can turn a one Wind monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to his own this card points 2. Sorry, I'm having a little brain fart right now. If this card is destroyed by battle or is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect while it is in your monster zone, you can add one Wind monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, and that is a hard once per turn. So this is basically to summon this, steal a monster from your opponent's grave, and then make more plays. It's pretty good, and the ad honestly isn't that bad either. It searches level 3, and I believe level 5 too. Not 100% sure right now. Next is one Great Fly. It takes 2 wins. All wins you control gain 500 attack and defense, and all all wins on the field gain 500 attack and defense, and all Earths lose 400 attack and defense. So this is just some more power to another big Unga Bunga deck. And then if this card is throw a battle or card effect, you can add a Wind monster from your graveyard to your hand. Alright, next we have a small Nightmare package of Phoenix, Cerberus, and Unicorn. Phoenix, whenever it's link summoned, discard a card, pop a back row. And then monsters it's co-linked to can be destroyed by battle. Cerberus, whenever you link summon it, discard a card, bounce an opponent's monster that was special summoned from the... destroy an opponent's monster that was special summoned into their main monster zone. And then co-linked monsters with this card can't be destroyed by card effects. And then Unicorn is discard a card, bounce any card your opponent controls to the deck. And then if this card is co-linked during your draw phase, you draw an additional card for every card it's co-linked to. So just a small little package to get rid of some problem cards your opponent might have. Next we go on to the fusions. As for the one-ups, we have one Trishula, the Dragon of Icy Imprisonment. This is the only other target for Dragon's Mirror besides FHD. It requires 3 monsters with different names. And then if it is fusion, it must be fusion summon. It does fusion summon. Dragon Mirror does. When it's summoned, you can banish 3 cards. 1 from your deck, 1 from your opponent's extra deck, and the top card of your opponent's deck. So, preferably what you do is you would banish Tempest with this, and then banish your opponent's most problematic card in their extra deck, and the top card of their deck that might mess something up. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's got me out of a couple sticky situations, especially in Game 2 after I know what they're playing. Plus, 2700 isn't that bad of a body. Next, we have 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon Swords. This is what I was talking about with the Claw of Hermos. You can special summon this with the Claw of Hermos using any Dragon-type monster. If it's special summon, you are forced to target one other monster on the field and equip it to this. If your opponent has a monster and you don't, you are forced to equip it to your opponent's monster. If this is the only monster on the board, it's actually a monster with Red Eyes stats. But the biggest thing is the equipped monster gains 1000 attack, plus an extra 500 attack and defense for each dragon on the field and in the graveyards. I got those heavenly spheres up to 9,000 the other day. So this can really bring out power. Like I said, this deck goes through monsters. It sends them to the graveyard real fast and in a hurry. Lastly, for the fusion monsters, we have 2 FHDs. 5-headed dragon requires 5 dragons, must be fusion summoned, and then it can be destroyed in battle by anything except for a light or divine type monster. 5k attack and defense, it is just a really big body. That's all it is, with a bit of minor battle protection. And lastly, the last two cards in the extra deck are for if you get level 10s out, and Red MD, because Red MD is level 10, the Xyz monsters, Gustav and Libe. Start off with Gustav. It takes 2 level 10s. Once per turn, detach 1, burn your opponent 2k. It's just a fun little thing, just in case your opponent slides out of that damage just a little bit. And then Libe requires 3 level 11 monsters, or you can summon it on top of Gustav. Other way. Boom. Libe's effect is, once per turn, you can detach a material. Increase this card's attack by 2,000 attack and defense, so if you don't have, say, a Rise Black Dragon Sword attached to it, it'll be a 6k, 6k. And then it gets attacks on monsters during each battle phase, equal to its materials plus 1. So if you don't detach with Gustav, this is a 6k, 6k that gets to attack 3 of your opponent's monsters. If you do 6k, 6k that gets to attack 2 of them, and your opponent's already taken 2,000 burn. So this really just bumps up the unga bunga of this deck. Lastly, we are going for the side deck. Now, as for the side deck, most of this, I'm not going to lie, is just cards that I thought about throwing in here, ultimately didn't, and then realized it wouldn't be that bad in some situations. So, we have 2 Dragon Knight of Creations. During your opponent's turn, you increase this card's level by 4. When it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, since it's to the graveyard, you can mill out a level 7 or 8 dragon, so Tempest or Armed Dragon Thunder level 7. And then, once per turn, you can discard 1 card, sack this card, special summon a level 7 dragon from your graveyard. Armed Dragon Thunder level 7 can be special summoned this way, and then it's just discard a monster, you get a level 10. Granted, that is during the main phase 2, that's why it's ran in the side deck. This is a bit of a budget option. Of course, the side deck is always malleable to whatever you want to play. Next, we have one more Kidmono. I don't need to go over this again. If I do, just rewatch the video. Rewatch where I talked about that. And again, with Armed Dragon level 10 white. As for the spells, we have 3 Dragoon outs. Psychic Eraser Laser. You send 1 monster your opponent controls that was special from the extra deck to the graveyard. Then your opponent gains life equal to the attack and defense of whichever was higher on the sent monster. You can activate 1 Psychic Eraser Laser per turn.
Or construct.
This is just like Dingaritsu in the fact of you don't have to declare a target. In fact, I was using this in a duel last Saturday, and I was going against my opponent who had 3 Link monsters on board, and one of them was an IP Masquerena. And her and I looked at this. Her and I called the judge. We made sure about this. If she wanted to use IP's effect, she would have to use it before I declared my target. In fact, I used this tonight in another one of my decks. When my opponent was playing Heroes, they were planning on activating Mass Change in response, but they couldn't, because if they did, I would have just sent whatever Mass Change brought out. So it's a really good card. It does not target, it does not destroy. That's why it's a Dragoon out. It's also an Avermax out. As for the other spells, we have 1 more Stamping Destruction for more back row destruction, and 1 more Super Rejuve, just in case you need to go through your deck a little faster for some reason. Next, we have the traps. 3 Armed Dragon Thunderbolts. You need to target an Armed Dragon monster you control and gains 1,000 attack for each Armed Dragon monster in your graveyard with different names, and a lower level than the targeted monster. Also, for the rest of the turn, your opponent takes no battle damage from attacks from its attacks. So the monster you chose attacks. You can only you can banish this card from your graveyard. To target 1 Armed Dragon spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn, and only once that turn. So this card is basically just for level 10 to get him closer to that 10k. Honestly, it has no other uses. It's just if your opponent goes too fast, but doesn't have outs for you, so you just need to go a little faster.
Shucks.
And lastly, more back row destruction in the form of a set of heavy storm dusters. You can target 2 Speller Traps on the field, destroy them. You can conduct your battle phase that turn. This card is good as a trap. Obviously, this is easily replaceable by Twin Twisters. I just like this more because I don't have to discard, and I'd use my discard fodder for my monsters. So yeah, that is the Armed Dragon Thunder deck profile. Tell me what you guys thought about this in the comments. And tell me if you have any other ideas that would go well in this deck. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you.
Alright, so guys, this was JW's Armed Dragon deck profile. He did get first place in one of our locals. Sadly, it was not sanctioned, so he didn't really get any prizes or nothing. However, hopefully soon he'll be playing this as a actual sanctioned tournament deck, so we can see how it would go up against more competitive deck profiles and stuff. But also, it just seems pretty competitive by itself too. It just seems fun, casual play, but still competitive at the same time.
Another thing is it's pretty cheap too, honestly.
The only thing really expensive in it is probably the level 10, because you decided to go for the ulti.
Yeah, I happen to pull the OTS one, but the original, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
worth
like-
a lot.
I think the one I saw the other day was like $5.
Honestly, excluding that ulti, the most expensive card in this deck is the Heavenly Balls. It's sitting at about 20 apiece last I checked.
Yeah, so it's actually really cost friendly. It's a real fun deck to play. And if he hadn't built it first, I would probably build it myself. We actually had a big discussion about it the other day. And so, but yeah, it's a real fun deck to play. I'm going to be doing more of these profiles, hopefully come soon. We actually had someone win tonight with a Madolche deck. But sadly, we won't be able to do the video today because we are running out of time. And we're actually waiting on for him to either come back probably tomorrow too, because I can probably go up to the card shop here in our town and do it there too. A lot of these deck profiles will be done from our actual shop here, though. It's Ken's Comic Man here in Bluff, Poplar, Missouri. And I'll actually have the actual location tagged in the video itself because the card shop owner himself said I could do it. And so if you guys are ever, in Missouri, you could probably come check it out, buy some product, help support your local communities. It's a really fun area to play in, and we'll hope to keep doing the videos and everything. So, see you guys later. Hope for another video soon, and y'all have a nice weekend and everything.